Right now, I'm going to show you how to change a flat tire here on a car. Now, this should work for a lot of different cars. Now, there are some newer cars that actually don't come with spares, but most do. This is a 2023 Mazda. My wife wants to do it because it's been a while since she has changed a tire on a car. So she's going to do it, but I'm going to walk you through the steps. So let's go ahead and get started. First, you want to locate the tire in the trunk. So here it's a hatchback, so it's just got these little covers here that pull right out. Now a lot of times the spare is secured in the trunk with a screw, so you'll just unscrew that. It's got that little plastic cap on it, so unscrew that whole thing. Just set it aside in the trunk. You can find it later. Now you can pull the spare out now and just set it to the side here. Now you're going to get the jack, and then you'll get a lug nut wrench and any other accessories that your car has. Now this one, just to quickly show you here, has a different piece that I haven't used, but basically you can kind of put these two together to get you some leverage when you're using your jack. So let's go ahead and pull that out and kind of get that lined up right now.
Okay.
So first, for positioning the jack, it's got this little slot in it here, and that actually goes on this little bar on the frame of the car here. So you'll see there's this little thin bar here, and that is where this groove needs to line up, okay? And in this case, it looks like there's a plastic piece on the inside, so we just want to make sure that we're not pushing into that to damage anything. But this metal bar right here is where we're going to position this little groove here on the jack when we jack it up. So we can get the jack, it doesn't have to be in position right now, but we can get it up a little bit and then slide it under there to do the finishing touches.
Okay.
So twist it by hand to get it in position there.
Here, looks like there's two like guides.
Two guides there, so perfectly. There we go. Good job.
Okay, yeah. I think that's good.
Perfect. Now, one thing I like to do is loosen up the lug nuts before I start raising the tire. It's easier to do that because once the tire is off the ground, it will start spinning.
Okay. And it's nice to have a handy dandy cushion seat.
Cushion there. So yeah, ideal situation here.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Or lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Oh my goodness.
Now sometimes to get a little leverage, you get up on top of it, and then if that doesn't work, you can actually kick it. Yeah, so you might need to kick it.
Okay, watch out.
You can also move the position of it to where it's off to the side a little bit, and then maybe step down on it or push down on it with more of your weight. Yeah, just to get some leverage on it. And be careful if it does slip. I've bashed my knuckles into the ground before.
Well, oh.
Is it going?
There we go.
So that's one. Now you just need to loosen all of them. So kind of continue the process, just loosening them up. And they're all going to have 5 lug nuts on it. Now I'll quickly show you here on the back tire here while she's taking that off. These ones don't have any locks on them. So you see the top, they're all smooth here on these lug nuts. Some of them actually have a key or you'll see it's like a design. and it might be, looks like a little squiggle or an L or something like that, and that means it has a lock. So typically in that situation, you're going to find that in the trunk, or it sometimes is in the glove compartment. So you'll have to have your lug nut key, but a lot of cars don't have them, but there are instances where some of them will have a key. So if you have that key, you're going to have to put that adapter into the wrench and then go ahead and take off the lug nut. All right, now you're just going to take them out and then set them aside safely because you'll use them to put the spare on.
Totally take
them off. Yeah, at this point you can kind of mix and match. If you wanted to jack up the car first to take them off, or if you just want to take them off now. All right, good job. So once you've got all of the lug nuts off, or if you've elected to leave them on, now you can just go ahead and start jacking up the car. So your lug nut wrench, and you also might have this other piece here. So that's they also call it a tire iron. So you'll have maybe a couple different tools here. So go ahead and hook this on to the end of your jack there. And then it does have another piece there. Yeah, so once it gets higher and actually starts requiring a little bit more leverage, you'll have to use that. So
I'm going down.
Yeah.
Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty.
So right is up, and then to left will be down when it's time. So yeah, so just using your tools here, just go ahead and keep spinning until you're going to get the tire up off the ground enough to pull it off. Can I show you a trick?
I'm not even doing anything yet.
Yeah, so I think,
show me.
I think it might work. This is in my head here. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work here. Yeah. So if you come up from under it here, get it hooked up in there, and then you just pull it down and over.
Okay.
And then you're just going to kind of repeat the process here. And it is a little tedious, but it'll get it done. Let's give that a try. So my wife figured out a way here to do this much faster.
Had to be high enough though.
So the problem was that obviously she wasn't high enough, but now she's high enough she can spin the wrench here. So either way, it's going to be a tedious process. But she's got the tire iron here, this little piece with the hook on it that comes through this little attachment here on the tire iron, and now she can just spin it. And this is getting close to high enough. It doesn't have to be completely up. The spare tire is a little bit smaller than the actual full-size tire, so it's not going to touch the ground the same. So you just need to kind of get it off the ground a good amount, and then you can kind of test and see if the spare tire will fit on. So I think a couple more turns here, and we should go ahead and try to pull the tire off and see if the spare will go ahead and fit on. So when you're ready, go ahead and grab the tire here, grab the rim there. I think you can grab your hands here around the rim on a couple places there and just pull it straight off towards you. And there's going to be dust and stuff on there, so you'll get your hands dirty for sure. And then you can just roll it out of the way, and then we will inspect the tire later to see if we can find, you know, what's made it flat. So you can set it down anywhere you can.
Here. Perfect.
All right, you can roll the spare tire over.
It's going to go on like this, right?
And it's going to go on the outside here. You'll have the valve here to fill it up. You'll also have a sticker on the outside, and then it's got this bowed part, and you want that to be on the outside. A rounded part, I guess. So we may need to jack it up more, but it might be high enough. And so you're just going to line up the screws that are sticking out with the holes on the outside of the spare tire. And it's a star, so there's going to be 5 of them.
There we go.
Good job. Perfect. So now you can go ahead and put the lug nuts back on one at a time. You're not going to tighten them completely, just get them on a little loose here. Once the tire is in place here, we're going to go ahead and take the tire iron, the lug nut wrench, and tighten up the lug nuts. And I like to do it in a star pattern, so you'll start with the top, then you'll come down to the bottom, then up to this one, then down to this one, then back to this one. I was taught that you do it that way to help keep the tire level. If you tighten all the ones at the top and then the ones at the bottom, they say it might rotate your tire so it'll be off center.
I was told the same thing.
So this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, so the tire's not spinning. Sometimes the tire will spin when you're tightening up these lug nuts, and you might have to grab the tire here while you're tightening them. And then also, you just want to get them as tight as you can here by hand. Then we'll lower the tire with the jack, and then we can go ahead and try to tighten them some more just to make sure they're on there nice and secure. As far as tightness, you just want to push them down really, pretty much as hard as you can by hand, but you don't need to jump up on it or, push it with your foot or kick it or tighten it on anymore. You just want them to be nice and snug as your arms and you can physically with just your hands get them on. So now we can go ahead and lower the jack, and that's really the last step.
Is there a quick release or do I have to?
On this one, there's no quick release, so you're just going to have to reverse the process.
Shucks.
Yeah. Just take your time getting the jack down. There you go. Then it'll come out. Now you can just twist it by hand, and you're going to get it back down to position to store again. Now you can double check the lug nuts again, just to make sure they're nice and snug. Again, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, so you want to push them or spin them right, clockwise to make sure they're nice and snug as you can get them with your arms, just to make sure that that tire is on there completely. Now you can check the PSI if you want, if you have that ability. You might not, you might be stranded, so you just got to drive it to wherever. As long as there's air in it and it doesn't look flat, you're good to go. Drive it, get to safety, get your tire fixed. They should be at 60 PSI. I do want to show you this thing right here. So this is a smart air pump, and this has saved my bacon a few times when I'm just a little low on air. Now, it would not have worked in this situation because the tire was completely flat, but this has actually helped me to just inflate my tire a little bit and get on the go. This is the AirMoto. I've got a complete video about this. We are done changing the tire here, but I suggest you watch that video next.